Why did Nietzsche say God is dead? 3 words, 3 explosions. Few sentences in history have been more misunderstood, more feared, or more misused. Some read it and assume Nietzsche was celebrating atheism. Others thought he declared war against religion. Some even believed he was boasting, like he personally killed God. But none of this captures what he meant. Nietzsche wasn't making a threat. He wasn't mocking belief. He wasn't cheering. He was diagnosing a crisis, a spiritual, cultural, and psychological crisis that still defines modern life. This video will explore what Nietzsche truly meant, how we arrived at this moment, and what happens after God is dead. Who was Nietzsche? Born in 1844 in a small Prussian village, Friedrich Nietzsche was recognized early for his brilliance. At just 24, he became a professor. People believed he would become a legend of classical studies, but life had a different plan. Nietzsche suffered from blinding migraines, digestive disorders, fainting spells, depression, social isolation. He fell in love only once with Lou Salome and was rejected. His friendships dissolved. His career collapsed. He wandered alone through Europe writing, badly paid, mostly ignored, heavily criticized. Late in life, his mind broke. He spent his final years mentally destroyed, cared for by relatives who hardly understood him, and yet, from this lonely life came some of the most powerful ideas ever written, ideas still shaking the modern world. Nietzsche didn't write philosophy from an ivory tower. He wrote from pain, from illness, from the edge of collapse. That's why his thinking feels so alive, because it was a matter of spiritual survival. A world in transition. To understand God is dead, we must understand the world Nietzsche lived in. Europe was changing dramatically. The Industrial Revolution, scientific discoveries, rising secularism, decline of church authority, urbanization, new philosophical movements. For centuries, life in Europe was grounded in Christianity. Truth came from God. Morality came from God. Purpose came from God. Even people who weren't deeply religious still accepted Christian values as the framework of life. But then, Darwin questioned creation. Newton explained nature through physical laws. Scientific thinking replaced theological explanations. People didn't suddenly declare, "We reject God." Instead, belief simply faded, quietly. They still spoke of morality, still judged good and evil, still used words like right and wrong, but without grounding them in anything beyond themselves. The house stood, but its foundation was gone. Nietzsche saw this collapse more clearly than anyone. What does God is dead actually mean? Nietzsche never meant God literally died. He meant belief in God has lost its power. God no longer organizes society. Religion no longer guides morality. Faith no longer defines truth. And this is crucial. Nietzsche believed it was humans who killed God, not with weapons, but with reason, science, philosophy, skepticism, humanity. Seeking truth pulled down its own foundation. But instead of celebrating, Nietzsche asked what will replace God. Because when one great value dies, something else always takes its place. And often that something else is far worse. The consequence, a loss of meaning. If God was the source of morality, purpose, identity, hope, meaning, then removing, God leaves a terrifying emptiness, a collapse of meaning. Nietzsche compared Europe to sailors who destroyed their compass, yet continued sailing, not realizing they were lost. Without a shared foundation, truth becomes relative. Morality becomes flexible. Values become subjective. People can no longer say this is right, this is wrong with any ultimate justification. This is what Nietzsche feared, not atheism, but meaninglessness. Nihilism, the great danger. Nihilism is not just saying, nothing matters. It is the deep existential sense that no value is true, no purpose exists, no direction is valid. Nietzsche believed that once people realized that their values had no foundation, they would fall into despair, boredom, or moral chaos. He saw nihilism everywhere, in political fanaticism, in hedonism, in consumerism, in depression, in spiritual numbness. He believed nihilism would shape the entire future of Europe. And he was right. Much of the 20th century, world wars, totalitarianism, ideological extremism, reflected the struggle to fill the void left by God's death. Nietzsche's target was not belief, but hypocrisy. Nietzsche didn't hate religion, he hated dishonesty. People said, "We don't need God anymore." Yet they continued using Christian morals, kindness, equality, universal dignity. But why? Where do these values come from, if not from God? Nietzsche believed that if you abandon God, you must abandon his morality too. You must rebuild everything from zero. Instead, modern people try to keep the good parts without accepting their religious roots. He called this intellectual laziness and moral cowardice. If God is dead, we must face the consequences. Modern society, still living in the shadow of God. Europe claimed to be secular, but its values remained Christian. Human rights, compassion, protection of the weak, belief in universal truth. These are not scientific truths. They come from a religious worldview. Nietzsche believed modern people were still living on spiritual credit, spending moral currency without realizing the account was empty. He predicted that once this credit ran out, society would collapse into confusion. Sound familiar? Today, people argue over morality. No one agrees on truth. Everyone invents their own values. A world without God didn't become enlightened. It became fragmented. Who will replace God? The Übermensch. Nietzsche believed that the death of God was not the end, but the beginning of a new challenge. Can humans create their own values? And that's where the Übermensch comes in. The Übermensch is self-created, self-responsible, free from herd morality. Courageous, creative, independent. He does not inherit values, he builds them. He does not ask, "What should I do?" He decides. He does not follow ideology, religion, or fashion. He creates meaning for himself. From himself. The Übermensch is Nietzsche's alternative to nihilism, a human who rises above the emptiness by becoming the author of his own life. The herd, the many who cannot be free. Nietzsche believed most people are not ready for such freedom. Most prefer comfort over truth. They follow trends, leaders, religion, ideologies, fame, pleasure. They live second-hand lives. Nietzsche called them the herd. The herd doesn't want responsibility, it wants direction. When God disappears, the herd does not become liberated. It becomes lost, so it invents new idols. Nation, party, science, celebrity, wealth, even romantic love. Different gods, same dependence. New gods, new chaos. Nietzsche believed that without spiritual grounding, humans would desperately attach themselves to new systems, nationalism, radical politics, mass movements, totalitarian leaders, blind ideology, and indeed the 20th century delivered exactly this. Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, 2 world wars. Nietzsche predicted the emotional hunger that would drive people to fanaticism once religion lost its authority. He wasn't supporting these ideologies, he was warning against them. In the 21st century, God is still dead today. Belief is optional. Morality is subjective. Tradition is weak. People build identity through consumption, branding, political tribes, and self-image, temporary beliefs. Everyone is free, but no one knows what to do with that freedom. We have more. Wealth, comfort, entertainment than Nietzsche could imagine. Yet more. Depression, anxiety, loneliness, confusion. The death of God did not leave peace, it left emptiness, and emptiness demands to be filled. Nietzsche was not celebrating. People imagine he was triumphant. He was not. He was sounding an alarm. His message was not, "God is dead, rejoice." His message was, "God is dead. Now we must face the consequences." The world has lost its foundation. Nothing has replaced it. We are drifting. His tone is not laughter, it is mourning. He tells a parable. A madman runs into the marketplace crying, "God is dead and we have killed him." But no one understands him. They think he's ridiculous because the people don't yet realize the catastrophe that has occurred. The real question, Nietzsche's most important question, is not, is God dead? It is, what will we do now? How will we build new values in a world without certainty? How will we confront freedom without falling into despair? How will we prevent nihilism from consuming us? These are still our questions today. Amor fati, love your fate. For Nietzsche, the answer begins within. Amor fati, love your fate. Not reluctantly accept your life, but embrace it fully. Your joys, your failures, your pain, your limitations. Life is not a problem to escape, but a force to affirm. This courage is the foundation of the Übermensch. Take responsibility or fall without God. There is no one left to forgive you, command you, save you. You are responsible for your values, your life, your purpose, your meaning. This is terrifying. Most run from it. But Nietzsche believed true freedom comes only when you stop outsourcing your existence to gods, systems or crowds. Freedom is not given, it is taken and paid for with responsibility. Conclusion, a challenge for modern humans. So what did Nietzsche mean? God is dead means the old world is gone. The old answers are gone. We are free but terrified, unanchored, drifting. And that leaves us with a choice. Collapse into nihilism or create new meaning. The death of God is not the end. It is the beginning of a new struggle to invent ourselves. Nietzsche demands that we grow, that we stop looking for salvation and start building lives rooted in authenticity, responsibility, courage, and creativity. The question now is ours. What will you do with your freedom? Will you remain part of the herd, or will you rise and become the creator of your own values? The story is unfinished, and we must write the next chapter.